Good morning, y'all. Happy Monday. I'll never understand how we as people don't learn from history. If we learn anything about genocides from the past, from the Holocaust to the Rwanda genocide in 94 to the Cambodian genocide from 75 to 79, the Armenian genocide, when are we going to ever learn that genocides are bad and we should never support the oppressor? But for some reason, people here in America don't understand the concept of genocide. And quite frankly, in my opinion, don't really give a damn about the Palestinian people. And here is why. I believe the United States of America failed the Palestinian people. I strongly believe it. I also believe we failed them. Me, you, everyone listening to this, because our politicians, Democrats and Republicans, are literally AIPAC loyalists and pro-genocide sympathizers, and I'm sick of it. And I'm calling every single one of you out. As a citizen and as a resident of California, I'm embarrassed. I'm so embarrassed and disgusted with the Do Nothing Democrats here in California. The establishment Democrats are the reason why I left the party. And this is exactly why. The majority of them are frauds. They're con artists, they're gaslighters, and they're pro-genocide, just so you all know. And when I say pro-genocide, oh no, these do-nothing Democrats, oh, they are up Israel's behind as it can be. They are taking millions from these people. And yes, you heard that right. Let me drop a number on you. Adam Schiff, the Democratic senator here in California, who I voted for, and just know I'm mortified with myself. Trust me, it is just disgusting that I never did my research and I never followed the money, which is why I told you in the last few podcasts, we got to start following the money because it's some dark shit. Because Adam Schiff has taken over $6 million from the Israel lobbyist group AIPAC. I'm going to quickly back up and provide more context of where we're at today. So as you all know, Trump had his toddler fit because of the escalators and teleprompters not working at the UN summit, which was dedicated to discuss Palestinian statehood, right? And so at the end of this week-long UN summit, the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, spoke to an empty audience and basically said that he's going to continue with this genocide, right? So now we know from the horse's mouth himself that he's continuing with this genocide until he gets his way. And that is important context to know as I continue with this story. So this is where the do-nothing Democrats, the establishment do-nothing Democrats enter the picture. The pro-genocidal Democrats. And I'm going to keep saying that because it's truly insane how these people have gaslit us for years. So the do-nothing Democrats, actually my do-nothing Democrat who I elected, and I'm so embarrassed, my Congresswoman Laura Friedman from California went ahead and posted this bipartisan email or whatever that was addressed to the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, urging him to consider a two-state solution while he's here in New York at the UN. Now, off the jump, I believe the do-nothing Democrats thought to themselves that, hey, we are getting a lot of heat because here in America, the shift on Israel is changing. On all sides, Republicans especially, are slowly becoming very vocal about being against the Israel lobbyist group because you guys, as we go through this story, I need you to remember receiving money always comes with consequences, right? Especially millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now, I don't know about you, but I do not believe that you can receive money from a foreign lobbyist group, especially so much, and not expect them to control our policies or have influence on our policies. And the fact that these do-nothing Democrats think that we are dumb enough not to realize this or find out the truth shows how much gaslighting and playing in our face they did. And for a little bit more context, The Economist reported that within the Republican Party, an uptick of 23% of Republican voters' opinions on Israel's war on Palestine has changed. in favor of them recognizing it as a genocide. So the question I have now is like, how are the people, the United States people, against this, but our politicians who we elect aren't on the same page as us? Which is really weird to me because the math just isn't mathing. I don't understand it. So the Do Nothing Democrats really don't have an excuse. And I can't believe I even have to say this, but let's just be clear. Just because I'm free Palestine and pro-Palestine and anti-Israel in this does not make me an anti-Semitic. Because I stand with the Israeli people who back in August were in Tel Aviv protesting against their government and against Israel's war on Gaza. They want a peaceful two-state solution. They want to end the war. They have never been for the war. But guess what? The Prime Minister of Israel doesn't give a damn. And quite frankly, doesn't seem like a champion for free speech when it comes to his people speaking out against him. And it's starting to sound a little familiar here in the United States. So Do Nothing Democrats, since you were pro-democracy, what do you feel about that? How do you feel about the Israeli people saying, no, this is wrong? Why aren't you standing with them? Why are you standing with the government? My next question then is, what are you getting out of it? And then I want to follow up by demanding you release your financials. And when I mean financials, I mean everything, including the wire transfers from AIPAC and what you have done with that money from AIPAC, because I need to know. And this is in particular to my California representatives, Laura Friedman, Alex Padilla, and Adam Schiff. Alex Padilla. I also demand a town hall because I'm showing up. So while I wait for my elected officials to get back to my emails, which I know they won't because they're cowards, let's talk about why I'm so pissed off and this stupid bipartisan email that they all outed themselves as warmongers on. So this stupid letter is just so completely tone deaf that I honestly, as someone who was in comms, PR, all that, cannot believe it got approved. Cannot believe it. By comms people, by legal, by the representatives themselves, because you look like a bunch of idiots. You really do. You really, really look stupid. And so I'm only going to read the first paragraph of this, and don't you even dare try to say that you're twisting my words, because I'm actually reading the only part where you recognize that the events that's happening in Palestine are horrific, by the way. That's the only part I'm going to read, because I want you to understand how tone deaf this shit is. And so the letter says, as longstanding supporters of the U.S.-Israeli relationship, Israel's securities, and Israel's future, we are deeply opposed to the proposals of unilateral annexation of territories in the West Bank. Such a move would not only violate international law, but undermine decades of bipartisan U.S. policy and threaten the progress of the Abraham Accords, which offer Israel and its neighbors the opportunity to build a more secure, cooperative, and prosperous regional future. Unilateral annexation of the West Bank would plunge the region, already reeling from tens of thousands of deaths in the horrific Gaza war, into further chaos and violence. What this paragraph tells me is not only are these do-nothing Democrats okay with this genocide and recognize that it's a genocide, but that they don't care. Because think about it. Because off the bat, the fact that you even have to write this letter means you know what's happening is wrong. And you have a little bit of a guilty conscience because you've been accepting that AIPAC money. And if I'm honest, some have been saying that this is blood money. That AIPAC is full of blood money. And then I thought, well, let me quickly look up blood money, because how I've associated blood money is more for like killing other people's families, like the mafia and stuff like that. But no, blood money can also be considered money that's gained in a way that involves others being harmed or exploited. Now, I don't know about you, but that does kind of sound like the genocide that is happening in Palestine, right? So one could technically argue that these politicians are accepting blood money, right? Very strange. Doesn't sound like democracy to me. And keep in mind, I didn't even know half of these people were pro-Israel. So the fact that all I had to read was the first sentence and then quickly look at the signatures, I was like, damn, yeah, pro-Israel U.S. relationship. So they love continuing to receive the money and doing whatever they want back. They being Israel and the millionaires and billionaires that benefit from our policies. It seems like the Democrats are very, very concerned with Israel's security, okay? Very interesting. I have yet, though, Laura Friedman, to know your position on the security here in the United States, because there is a lot of white nationalism going on, and I'm very concerned, especially that the shooters of churches and the shooters of schools are white. And yet here you are focusing really heavily on Israel's security. But yet I'm not feeling very secure here at home, and you have not replied to my email to reassure me. So I need an answer about that. And then Israel's future. I think that's very important to highlight, because just so you know, the Israeli people actually get free healthcare, and they get free education, and they get a lot of social programs that are all government funded. Why? Because we're funding it. Do you guys understand? And I can't believe I'm even quoting this person, so take it with a pinch of salt. But Marjorie Taylor Greene said that we have given Israel $3 billion. And when I heard that, I was like, there's no way Marjorie Taylor Greene is telling the truth that we have supplied Israel with up to $3 billion. But a simple Google search can tell you if that's right or wrong, right? And so what did I do? I looked it up. And boom, CBS News, Trump administration approves nearly $3 billion in arms sales to Israel, and that every single Do Nothing Democrat that signed that signature on that stupid bipartisan letter voted for it. Yep, $3 billion to Israel for arms. Yes. Our homeless rate here in California is atrocious. We are all unemployed. We don't have free healthcare or free education, yet we have the money to give Israel $3 billion for weaponry. And our Do Nothing Democrats voted for it because they benefit from blood money. And that you all, Do Nothing Democrats, can sit on your little high throne collecting this AIPAC money and putting it into properties and stock market options, while everyone here is dying from homelessness, dying from lack of health care, and you don't give a damn as long as you're in power. Now, ain't that some shit? I'm not even done, because you know what's crazy? They don't even mention the mass starvation, the blockades of AIDS, all of that craziness. But then they jump in to say Hamas's barbaric October 7th attack. Listen, we can all admit that what Hamas did was wrong. It's terrorism. It's bad. I don't condone it. As someone who, I don't condone violence, period. But we also can't be naive and not talk about the history of why this all happened and why we're here. And it always goes back to the Israeli government. I'm just saying. I'm going to post the disastrous email or bipartisan letter on my Instagram. So follow me at the A-Files podcast. And I just want you to know, I did a quick scan of the majority of Democrats that signed this stupid letter. None of them have posted it on their social media. And I need you to think about the why in that, because they know it's wrong. And they don't want to make it public because they still want the power to continue to do this to benefit their own pockets. I sound like a crazy conspiracy theorist, don't I? I really do, because I just can't believe that AIPAC has so much control over our government. But go on www.aipactracker.com or follow them on Instagram, because they are tracking everything to a T. And the finances are bad, you guys. The finances are bad. So let's talk about who signed this tragic, horrific letter. Oh, wait. There are two things I just want to quickly highlight that they mentioned in the letter. One being the fact that you all highlighted that Benjamin Netanyahu is breaking international law, or could potentially break international law, means that you already know you have accepted money from someone who is doing illegal shit. Another thing that did not sit right with me is how you downplayed the number of people that have died at the hands of the Israeli government. And you're saying tens of thousands. Feels icky. Say the number, 65,000, which, to be honest, I don't even think is the right number. I think it's a whole lot more. And that's the sad reality we live in. So what I need you to do right now is sit down, because it's shocking. Hold tight. Keep your ears open and nice and wide so you can hear everything I'm saying as I go through a handful of do-nothing trash-ass Democrats that vote in favor of AIPAC and blood money. The way I'm starting with my people, the black folks on this, I'm shocked. I'm shocked because of our history and our heritage. I don't give a damn if you're black Caribbean. I don't give a damn if you're black African. We all have the same story. We all have some sort of genocide and we have some sort of oppression. And yet here you are taking money from the Israel lobbyists and supporting mass genocide by accepting AIPAC money and voting in favor of Israel policies. And this one right here from Northern California's 4th District, Valerie Fouché. I'm going to be emailing you, Valerie, because we need an explanation here in California. You have received almost $2.4 million as black women to black women. Why? Explain. Next, Gregory Meeks, black representative from New York's 5th District, an AIPAC lover. He has accepted $606,000 from the Israel lobbyist group. Don't you love it, folks? Don't you just love it? And just so you know, if I do not mention a Democrat that's on the AIPAC Hall of Shame, don't think you're never going to get mentioned, because I will be finding you eventually, and I'm going to be letting the grassroots organizations in your state find out. Here we go. Woman of color with a fro like mine, Cindy Kamler Dove, Democrat from California, lobbyist, received $137,000. I'm disgusted, but wait until you hear the next few. Wait until you hear the next few. This is going to blow your mind. Maxine Waters and James E. Clyburn. When I saw their signatures on this pro-Israel list, bipartisan email stupid thing, I was shocked, just because they are civil rights and human rights icons whose whole legacy is fighting corruption, fighting oppression, fighting for the small person, the little guy. But yet here you are accepting blood money from the big dogs who are bullying the little ones. I honestly cannot understand how you all can champion civil rights and be the champions of human rights, allegedly, but are okay with accepting this money and being pro-genocide. It doesn't make sense. You all know what performative looks like. Maxine Waters, you're incredibly intelligent. Reclaiming my time. I want to reclaim my votes. This is ridiculous. I guess I just have one question for everybody out there, the politicians who voted for this. Is it worth it? Was the money worth it? Was ruining your legacy worth it? I really need to know. Okay, so let's just continue to highlight more Do Nothing Democrats. Chris Pappas, New Hampshire, Democrat, $512,000 as today. I believe I did actually see a higher number, someone else. So Chris Pappas and the New Hampshire peeps, check him out. Grace Meng, U.S. Representative in New York 6th District. Hot ass mess. Stephen Hoyer received $1.7 million from AIPAC. He's over in Maryland. Call him, y'all. Call him. Ro Khanna was really sad to see on this list. When I saw his signature, I was disgusted because he is leading the charge with Thomas Massie to get justice from the women and children who were affected by Epstein. So how can you fight for the rights of the women and children who are human trafficked by a bunch of thugs, but you can't support the Palestinian children who are being bombed out of their homes? They don't even have access to schools, libraries, being able to play freely with their friends at the park like I did as a kid. This is really, really tragic. And these are young kids who, if they make it out alive, will be scarred forever. I mean, they're already scarred. All they know is mass starvation. All they know is starvation. All they know is not having access to aid. And all they know is growing up in a world where they don't have any allies to help them. Jimmy Panetta is a Democrat loser. He looks like a POC too, so I'm coming for you. $446,000 he's received from AIPAC. Disgusting. 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 Another Californian, he's a Republican. Ugh, not surprised. Jim Costa, $400,000, California. What's going on, California? A lot of Republican Californians on here too. Isn't that disgusting? Pete Aguilar, $1.1 million. He is a POC here in California, and I'm disgusted. I'm so disgusted with you. Check your emails. Jimmy Gomez, $2.6 million. Jimmy Gomez, what the hell do you need from AIPAC? Just a quick honorary mention who didn't sign the paper but is not pro-Palestine is Ted Lieu. Apparently, he was one of the 30 Democrats to vote against a two-state solution. And he received $700,000+ from these people. The Delaware ones shocked me too. Chris Coons, Delaware senator, took $258,000 from AIPAC. Sarah McBride, the first transgender woman in Delaware, and she's 35 years old. She's a millennial. This is why I'm pissed, because I followed her career and I supported it. $65,000 from AIPAC. Lisa Blunt, Rochester, black woman, Democratic senator from Delaware. Lobby total, $80,000 from AIPAC. Her next election's in 2030. What is going on? Why does AIPAC have such a chokehold over these people? I don't understand, but let me quickly go back to Illinois where I lived, and I'm disgusted because Mike Quigley, who I spoke to, organized a meeting with other minorities in Lakeview, and he put us at ease during George Floyd and Black Lives Matter. He's pro-genocide. I spoke to him, and I really advocated him, and I loved everything he was about. But he has accepted $246,000 from AIPAC. Trash. Dick Durbin, $1.1 million. Tammy Duckworth, $700,000+. Danny Davis, $65,000, black man. Jonathan Jackson, $18,000, black man. Yeah, I'm calling you out. I don't give a damn. Lauren Underwood was just so sad to me. $75,000. I'm reaching out to your team. So this is what we're working with. And this is my first video of many. I just wanted to introduce this because I'm in shock at how much AIPAC is controlling our government. And I hope that the next time I do this podcast, I have received correspondence from the people I have emailed and the Congress people that I have read out today. And I hope you have an explanation. But yeah, no, we're showing up to town hall. So I recommend you hurry up and put those on the books today. No, you guys, Elizabeth Warren, $298,000 from AIPAC. Ed Markley, $141,000. That is so heartbreaking, and just, I can't express it enough. Go to trackaipac.com. Look up everybody. Look up everybody you vote for. Look up everybody in the primaries. Question them. Question, because they're seeing the shift. You hear me? They're seeing the shift. And in my next video, I am going to highlight all the true Democratic leaders who are accepting $0 from AIPAC, and of course AOC, Bernie Sanders, and others that aren't as popular that are in New York, like Nadia Valquez, who's a Democrat, has received $0. So there are a few, but I'm not going to lie to you, it's very minor. And there's a couple of Republicans like Thomas Massie and John Husted who also have not received money from AIPAC, but it's a select few. But I'm going to highlight everybody because I believe they're on the right side of history for this issue. All right, that's all I have for today. Please follow my Instagram. That's where I really post. I'm a one-person team, so that's all I got. But thank you so much for listening, and free Palestine. Free Palestine. And to the congressional staffers that are listening to this, again, don't be fooled by the low numbers. We're paying attention and we're listening. And I really highly suggest you contact me and let's just have an honest conversation. I want to have an honest conversation with the elected officials that we put in and that are using our taxpayers' money to fund a genocide. Okay? Because I hope I'm wrong, and I can't wait for you to sit here with me and to let me know how wrong I am about your positions on this genocide and the money you have been taking, allegedly. I would love for you to debunk this. I want to be wrong. I want to go back on my next episode and be like, hey, I will put my hands up. I was wrong about so-and-so. They are not pro-genocide, and they did not expect and they did not receive blood money. Okay? That's all. Thank you. Bye.